Y'all, greetings, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is well. Recently, there was a Swamp Stories video that came out about Crip, and in the video, it talked about Crip's history growing up in the suburbs and his various attempts to join different sets of the Crips. So he moved from set to set trying to claim them, and he didn't really find any acceptance until he linked up with the 5-5 set, right? And so recently, Crip has been on the defense trying to defend his street credentials and trying to assure everyone that he is a real gangbanger, right? It's almost like every video since then, he makes a point to say that he's a real gangbanger. All right, he made a video like a day ago at night on the streets with a couple of his homies, and basically he was shouting out everyone and letting people know that these are some real steppers, these some real gangbangers. He said they some real yellow tapers, etc., etc. And this thing has gotten so far that earlier today, Crip made a video in which he made a needless and senseless attempt to get into an altercation with some people outside a store. Alright, the video begins with Crip approaching a store, and when Crip enters the store, or as he was entering, he made a point to let the guys know that he is a Hoover killer. Right? I guess he was hoping that they from the Hoovers and that they would have responded with some animosity and made some drama. And guess who was recording this whole thing? China Mac. Right? China Mac has been in a symbiotic attachment to Crip as of late. He's riding the wave that Crip is making with his viral videos, and he makes a point to show himself on camera to get some of the attention. But the guys came back to Crip after he said this. They came to the door of the store and they said like they from Grape Street. I guess they not from the area that he was referring to, but it looked like it almost became a physical situation, right? And so I gave a recap of this situation because somebody made a very excellent point that I never really noticed until today. Right? Every time you see Crip make a video feeding the homeless, Crip is always feeding homeless Mexicans or homeless white people. Right? I applaud Crip for feeding humans in general. But I did notice that every time Crip buys some pizzas and Old English to distribute to the masses, these masses are always whites and Mexicans, right? But in the video today, Crip saw 3 black individuals standing outside and decided to gangbang with them, And I mean, it really dawned on me as this person made this comment. He said that, you ready to kill the people that look like you, but you only feed people who are not black, right? He said that Crip represents the new KKK, and I think that was a lens to a larger landscape because it really dawned on me that even in the gang culture, we still find that the system of white supremacy has laid the foundation. It's almost like gangs are a means of protecting non-blacks from black people, because even in the gangs, you look at Crip as an example, when he sees white people on the wayside, when he sees Mexicans on the wayside, his eyes well with tears. His heart becomes filled with compassion. He immediately goes to Domino's and he buys pizzas. He goes to the bar, he buys Old English, and he gives it to them because he can't bear the thought of these whites and these Mexicans going hungry. All right, they bearless, they foodless, and they cashless. And Crip Mark springs to action when he sees this, right? But when you consider it, when Crip Mark sees black individuals, his mind goes to gang banging. His first thought is, which set do you claim? All right, basically, which neighborhood do you live in? Aren't we a sick people? Aren't we psychotic after the effects of the system of white supremacy? When you just consider that this psychotic mindset has seeped in so deeply that we are unable to have compassion for each other. Our compassion is for everyone else but us, right? And I've been supportive of Crip Mark's journey throughout all of this time, even though he represents the gang elements. But I thought that he was turning the corner, making a change, trying to represent some more positive elements. But in reality, Crip Mark felt like he had to defend his street reputation and even put his life on the line potentially in order to prove something, right? But it really dawned on me that we really need to assess what it is that we allow in our community, and when we find that there's a contradiction, we have to call it out, despite whoever the character might be. So I hope that Crip Mark continues to go towards a more positive direction. Keep getting your increments. Keep stacking your increments, brother. Don't get caught up in the hype. And you need to start feeding people in your own community. Maybe you could make a more powerful impact if you started to feed the Hoovers rather than saying you looking for Hoover destruction. But finally, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about all of these dynamics. One love.